What's up, everyone? I am the League Dad, and this is another episode of the All In Podcast. It's a podcast for casual leaguers. Today, I am joined by Kevin Shee and Style On 123, and we have an episode, Week 4 LCS recap. Going to give you all of the highlights of what happened and give you our thoughts heading into Rift Rivals, which is, I believe, tomorrow, right? It's Wednesday as I record this. Is anybody confirm that, Kevin? Style?
It's Thursday.
It's Thursday.
Tomorrow's Thursday.
Okay, so tomorrow is Rift Rivals. So if you're listening to this on Thursday, then it's later today for you. So that's gonna be exciting stuff. I already love the banter going on between the LEC and the LCS. It's pretty intense, pretty awesome. Guys, how you feeling? Kevin, Style, how you feeling about the regions heading up into this tournament? You guys giving an edge to anybody at this point? I think I know Style's answer already.
I mean, realistically, we have to give the edge to EU, and I was feeling pretty so-so about NA up until I saw Fnatic almost lose to XL. Then I was like, hey, we have a chance.
But Fnatic also did destroy G2, but I think that was just G2 more destroying themselves, but whatever.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely ways for the NA teams to take wins off of Fnatic and OG, and then G2 showed maybe they have vulnerability. We can talk about it further. But
we'll see. We'll see if that happens.
Obviously, I give you the edge. I can't call myself an analyst unless I.
It's tough because although I love NA, that's my region. I think honestly, I think it's just G2. If I have to be real honest, I think we have a pretty good stand against OG and Fnatic. That's just my thoughts. I do think G2's on a whole nother level though. Style, you're an EU native. Are you giving it to your hometown boys?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but I think everyone is stronger, like all three teams.
You really, even in NA, you think so?
I think the top NA team can beat the bottom EU team, but that's about it.
All right. Yeah, so we'll have to see.
The third place EU team, right? Not the 10th place.
No. I mean the third place. I think, or what is it? I think the TL will be Origin.
Okay.
I think anyone else.
You're gonna make some LS prediction. I was like, hey, wait a minute.
Yeah, we'll see. Fnatic actually has been looking really, really good too, especially lately. Again, they're undefeated. They just if you guys don't follow LEC, top two teams basically are G2 and Fnatic. They were both undefeated up until this past weekend when Fnatic completely destroyed G2. Although you could kind of say that G2 just threw it pretty much early and kind of that game was a wash. But anyways, there's clearly a top two in that team. OG, I guess, is recognized as third, but I'm not even sure if they're playing as well as people might have hoped. But anyways, that's a whole nother topic. We're here to talk about LCS, guys. Now there is a little bit more clarity. We do have a clear number one in Team Liquid. I think people were kind of waiting for when this team would turn on, and it seems like they've done that. And then we have quite a group for second place. We have Optic, CLG, TSM, and C9. Honestly, I think the big surprises there to me are CLG and Optic. I definitely didn't expect that. I thought maybe Golden Guardians and even FlyQuest at the beginning of the season, I thought they'd be okay. But coming in after that second place, we have a couple people in third, which is Clutch and Golden Guardians. And then, surprise, surprise, in fourth, 100 Thieves. With a 2-0 weekend, that's pretty amazing. Echo Fox coming in fifth, and dead last. We have a new dead last. It's no longer 100 Thieves. It is FlyQuest, which is, to be honest, kind of a big surprise. Lately, they've just been playing like crap, but if you were to think about it from last split, it's definitely a big change. But let's work our way top down. Let's start with Team Liquid. Guys, what'd you think about their weekend, their performance this weekend? You guys feel a little more confident as far as like their game throughout the entire game? Because I know a lot of times they have this tendency in the mid game to almost do throws to a point where they sometimes lose them. But what do you guys think of Team Liquid, and do you think they're returning to form as they are the number one team?
Well, on my end, I think they've gotten better. They've definitely shown more skill. We should keep in mind they did have to play against the 2 4-4 teams, Golden Guardians and Clutch. So not pushovers by any means, but I think it was they were decent wins. I think that they looked a little bit more solid. I thought that the game against was it Golden Guardians was actually pretty close. Froggen was popping the hell off in that game, and I was like, how much can a man be expected to carry? So I think that's pretty good for Liquid to win that game, especially. I don't really care as much about Clutch, even if their record's good.
Yeah.
So I think Liquid's looking good. It looks like they're starting to figure out what they want to draft. Impact is still doing insane work in top lane, so that's a great sign going into Rift Rivals. I think Liquid's getting their tempo a little better. My only big concern is that I don't think I've seen Doublelift play anything like exciting as an AD character except for Soda, which was not, he did fine on Soda, but he's just been spamming like Varus and other characters for a while this split. So I'm a little concerned that he can't be effective on things that he needs to be effective on, but it's double. He should be fine.
Yeah, and that's the thing, maybe his champion pool is getting a little bit stale, but maybe it's just because it's been working. But at the same time, it's very readable. When you're one-dimensional, you kind of have a good read on the bot lane, and if a team has done their homework and can figure out a way to crack that kind of strategy that they play. I mean, he did bust out the Varus Tom Kench bot lane again against Golden Guardians, which is something that we've seen them do a ton, right? And it kind of is a forgiving thing where Doublelift can kind of misposition, and you got Tom Kench there to just save you. They did have Xmithy on Skarner, who Skarner is just one of his best champs. I don't know if I think it might be even his best champs, but as you said, Vel'Koz, Froggen on Vel'Koz, carrying that game as much as he could anyways. And, there was a point where I thought they might actually take it. Stout, what were your thoughts on the Golden Guardians game with Team Liquid?
I think, Froggen just has a bunch of dirty inters on his team, to be honest.
Yeah.
Gangplank lost. Bot lane was just, I don't think they lost, but they just had no impact later on.
Right.
Yeah.
And then Skarner could just flank. And the whole reason they won a TL on that game is because they landed like really good flank. And I feel like every game it's just Froggen against everyone else. So it's like 1v9 literally. Yeah. Even the game where he played Anivia against TSM. It was literally just the early times you would think, oh, TSM is gonna throw this, is when Froggen landed like a good Q or a good wall.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, I mean, it seemed like, that Team Liquid, again, hitting their stride, but Golden Guardians, on the other hand, I think they had, a tough schedule. That's the thing, Golden Guardians is one of those teams, I think we've mentioned, they're kind of like the new FlyQuest of this split where, they've been playing pretty well. Same with Optic. I guess you could put either of those teams in that FlyQuest slot. But do you think Golden Guardians, as they sit, like I said, they had a pretty tough schedule, but as they sit, do you think Golden Guardians can make a run in a top 4, maybe? Top 4, top 5? If you had to make a prediction right now, obviously we have the 3, right? TSM, C9, and Liquid. But do you think it's Optic and Golden Guardians? Do you think that's kind of a lock there? Because, as the weeks are developing, we're starting to maybe see the trends. Are you guys confident that Golden Guardians can at least be in top 5?
Yeah, definitely.
You think so?
Mine would be definite 5th, if not 4th. And then I think they have the capability to beat teams like TSM, C9, and TL. So I would even go out to say that even top 3, considering the way TSM is playing. So I would put C9 and TSM as tied for like 2nd right now. Are they actually tied for 2nd? I don't know.
TSM, yeah, they're tied. Yeah, there's like a clump there. Yeah,
so considering they're tied, I think they're both playing the same way. Like they do well early and then they just run it down late. Like the TSM versus Optic game was just depressing to watch. Right. And then who was it that just like hard inted? They had like a huge lead. Was it Optic versus Echo Fox? Yeah,
it was Optic versus Echo Fox. The one where Arrow literally decided to build GA Hex Drinker, and he had no damage against the end.
Okay, but that wasn't even my problem. My problem was that dive in bot lane and the way they.
Oh my gosh! Yes, now I know what you're talking about. It's refreshing my memory.
That dive was traumatizing.
And here's the thing: is like, okay, so I think I might have messaged this in the group in our group chat when Optic was playing TSM, and I was like, you know what? I'm believing, right? I was like, I'm believing that in this team, and then watching the Echo Fox game, I was like, wait a minute, am I about to eat my words here? Because it just seemed like over and over. I was like, they were trying to make that thing happen, and it was. But you know, barring that, I felt like they had. You know, they played pretty well up until that point, I think. You know, speaking of Optic, what are you guys thinking of their play this past week? I think that, you know, like I said. No, I mean, I think they're good. I think I'm a believer, and even if they didn't have Crown, look, they still pulled off the win against TSM. It was impressive. Like I said, against Echo Fox. Again, I don't know what was happening there up until that point where they were trying to force that dive. I thought they were playing fine. I thought they were going to win, actually. But, I mean, what do you guys think?
I think that Optic right now has shown that they have a lot more capability to be like that top 4, top 3 team compared to GGS. GGS has probably been playing at like, I would say like one of his best performances he's ever shown in NA for the split. But the issue is that's where their ceiling is. Their AD carry and their support, just like without Tom Kench, it's like it's really shown the cracks down there. Like definitely picks Draven and then he gets dicked on by like a Varus or something.
Yeah.
And it's like okay. And then Hanser's good, and then Contract is just not consistent enough in a best of 5 playoff scenario. He's good at times, but like there's a reason I think that Cloud9 dropped him. He's just not consistent enough for you to bet on him in the best of 5, especially not without he just I don't know. It's weird. He should be a veteran by now. He's played for like 3 years.
But he did make some questionable.
He was 17 when he started, so that's
right.
really.
But now he's like 20 or 19. So.
It's probably. I think it's been 2 years, right?
Yeah.
I think Contrast is just a better version of Blabber, though. I think Blabber is like the height of inconsistency. Like you see him making some insane plays, and then you see him just running it down.
Yeah,
this is true. But there's a reason why they start Sunscare in most of their games.
Yeah. I still think that they should, if they run Gragas Yasuo, they should run Blabber instead of Svenskaren. But unless they're gonna do Gragas Yasuo, you don't run Blabber.
I think Svenskaren might be a little more consistent, but Blabber has made some pretty good plays. I mean, it's hard to know, and maybe that's why they're still kind of developing them in Academy. But
I don't know if you watched the Academy game, and Blabber was just like tearing shit up on Kindred. Like he had he was like 7-0 by the end of the game, and he was just invading constantly and destroying them.
But that's the thing about Kindred, though. Kindred can super snowball, especially against inferior junglers. Like, he's basically smurfing if he's playing in Academy. So, other than like TSM, Academy, and I forgot what other jungler was pretty damn good down there. Optics, probably, because Dardoch is playing.
Yeah, Dardoch.
It's hard for me to imagine.
TSM is at the top right now.
Yeah, I know TSM's at the top, but I meant like as his jungle versus jungle.
Yeah.
There's some pretty good junglers, to be fair. Moon is in Academy now.
Oh, yeah, Moon.
You guys remember Moon?
Yeah, I remember Moon.
I mean, as a Liquid fan, I remember Moon.
Mike Young is there on TLA. If you guys remember him from TSM.
Oh, yeah, from
I don't think any
TSM
fan wants to remember.
Yeah, we don't really talk about that, but
TSM and the junglers has a long history. But also, real quick before we finish talking about Optic, I also think it's impressive that they went 1-1 with Scarlet. Like Scarlet, pretty damn good on his Vladimir. Like that flank in game 1 against TSM.
It was good.
It's fucking sick. Like that was like the kind of proactive play you expect to see out of like a very high caliber world's level team, but they were like pulling it off with their sub roster. So I mean, it's good enough that they went 1-1. Like Crown's been playing like top 3 mid laner in NA, and super
I was kind of wondering about that. Like, I mean, what was the official reason? Did he just ask for? Did he have some issues?
He needed a break for some personal issues. I don't know what it was. I don't know. I don't think it was family related. That's rookie. But he said something about some personal issues. I don't think he's like upset with the team or anything because he's playing so well and they're doing so well.
Right.
So perhaps he just needed a break. I mean,
I feel like it's just burnout, right? Because these guys play constantly
all the
over
time.
and over.
Perhaps, but 3 weeks in as a pro player, you had like a month after MSI, or between the end of spring split and MSI to rest. I mean, yeah, you were doing like scrims and stuff, but like he's been doing it his whole life. So
and I could see like if they were not playing well, but like I said, they were playing well, and to me it was really, you know, a head scratcher when they're playing TSM, you know, a team that they want their best players in there, right, to like give themselves. I mean, granted, they still won.
They still won, so
but you know that is definitely, you know, if you're an Optic fan, that's got to be something that you're positive about. You know, the fact that they could still win. Scarlet actually proving himself. We'll have to see. He only played Vlad twice, right?
Yeah, I mean,
in the second game they
like
lost.
Scarlet, and he played Vlad 2 games.
Yeah,
I don't know.
exactly.
As far as I'm concerned.
So I mean,
think Optic is just.
No, go ahead.
Okay, I think Optic is just like restoring natural order, right? So they TSM runs it down against them, right? They have like a huge gold lead, and all they do is like go in, run it down. Sven gets caught, they lose the game, right?
Yeah.
And then you have.
Yeah.
Then you have what is it? Optic playing against Fox, and they do literally the same thing, right? It's like a run it down chain or like a throw chain. So TSM throws against Optic, Optic throws against Fox.
It's the natural order. It's what you
said.
You said the natural order. You know, maybe they were. Maybe they were just. Maybe they were just, you know, overconfident. I don't know. Scarlet was like, you know, getting his head. Actually, no. I blame Meteos 100% on that second loss. Unless,
the thing is, it wasn't just one dive; it was 2.
No, it was 2. That's why I'm like, what are you guys doing? Like, seriously, what? Like, learn the first time. That's why it was really.
It's the sunk cost fallacy. If I don't make that first kick, I gotta make it happen the second
Oh
time.
my gosh, dude, it was just unbelievable. But
they had that game in the bag. They should have won that.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, they were playing well. That's why I'm still hopeful on Optic. Like, to me, I don't think it's a fluke. I think they're actually good. I can't quite pinpoint, you know, like you said, Meteos is wishy-washy, but Arrow's been playing well. Crown, of course, is playing well. But I'm definitely like it. And Dokla, hello, Dokla, come on, we were memeing on him, but I was like, what? You just got to put him on some carries, man. Wait, who did he play? So he played, he played Aatrox. Yeah, that's.
I think it was a solo kill, or maybe it was an assisted kill.
I didn't even like his Jace though. Like, granted, he got a bunch of free kills, but that's because of Meteos. I don't think he's actually a good carry player. I think just put him on Poppy. Yeah,
but so it's like Impact, right? Impact was known at first for only playing, you know, tanks, but play around that. Let him play, you know, if he's getting stomped on as tanks or whatever, bruisers, just let him play like these carries. And if he can hold his own, you know, maybe the rest of the team can play around that. Because if the rest of your team is playing well, then you can minimize your weaknesses and focus on those strengths. But either way, I was impressed. I thought he played much better than he has in other weeks. Next week, I think, or not next week. So we have Rift Rouse, but on the 6th of July when LCS resumes, I'm actually really interested because Optic is going to be playing Golden Guardians, and these are 2 teams that I think are right in that middle of the cusp field, and so I think that's actually going to be a really cool game to watch. Say what?
Is that my DC or did someone else?
Oh no, I think
you must have DC because I can hear everything fine right now.
So they play Golden Guardians, and then they also play FlyQuest. So I think this will be a really good week for Optic to kind of again prove and build on what they've been doing. Hopefully we'll get Crown back because I think I'd like to see more from Crown, but again, proving that they can hold their own even without him. Let's move on to someone I've been actually surprised in, and I'm surprised that. This is why I was kind of sad that Nerdy wasn't here because, you know, CLG and CLG Cloud9 game. I thought that it was going to be, I mean, what'd you guys think? Did you guys think that did it turn out pretty much how you thought? Because let me just tell you what the prediction was here. Nerd predicted that CLG beats C9. I mean, what'd you guys think of the game?
Hello?
Oh, there we go. Okay, yep.
Okay, cool.
I mean, it was pretty. Yeah, it was pretty. Like, I mean, C9 obviously played well, but do you think CLG like is showing improvement? Because this is a team that I don't think was gonna look good, but they've surprisingly for me seem to be okay. Are you convinced, or are you thinking, they're just beating easy teams?
I don't think they're just being easy teams because, like, I mean, you're 5-3, so like that's a pretty damn good record. Like, you have to beat at least some of the playoff teams to do that. Yeah. I think that they've found a little bit more about like how they like to draft. Like, they have a lot of draft priority on characters like Lux, for example. Although this game they went Tom Kench, who's quite absurdly strong right now.
Yep.
I think that I think CLG is looking good. I think that they probably we didn't mention them in our like top 5 like because we're talking about Optic, Golden Guardians, C9, TSM. I think that CLG has what it takes to be maybe a 5th place team or 4th place team coming in to the end of the season. I was just really worried about that C9 CLG game. I'm looking at the draft, and I think CLG should have won that hands down. You have your Ezreal for the safety against the double assassin Aurelia and Kali. You got the Trundle versus the Sejuani, who was somehow ineffective against a full tank Sejuani. I was like,
that's true.
I was just like, Wiggly, what have you been doing this whole time?
Yeah, absolutely.
Trundle's like been doing pretty well in LCS, so it just looks pretty bad, honestly. Yeah. And I don't think Sneaking Zazel did anything special. I just thought that like Sven Skaren was playing super well. And,
he did well.
I mean, Licorice and Niski did their job. Niski did it really well too. But
Licorice.
I don't know. PoE might need to find something other than Orianna, because I mean, Orianna can work, but for some reason the way they played with Orianna just did not look like effective at all. And that
not at all.
PoE is known for his Orianna, but I guess without Nash, his powers are muted.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah,
Nash
I mean, I don't know if CLG is a top 5 team, to be honest, just comparing because of looking at the rosters and the gameplay so far with Golden Guardians and Optic. I think though, comparing the rest of the bottom, I think, they're definitely in that 6th spot. I don't think Clutch or Echo Fox, 100 Thieves or Fly, I don't think those teams.
100 Thieves, my man. They're
okay. All right, well, let's move on to them then, because since they've changed things up, they're 3-0. It's interesting. So let's talk about them, because you're right. Like, they have shown, obviously something, the change up has worked. I think maybe Amazing has a lot to do with that, perhaps, because to me, I don't know if it's. I mean, let me get your thoughts, because I don't really know. I'm just talking about talking out my butt as far as like what I think is helping them win. But I mean, something has obviously changed.
It's gotta be Ryu. I mean,
but see why? Here's the thing: why? Because I mean, if you just look at a performance standard, to me, he hasn't looked that impressive. Do you guys think he looks that good?
Yeah, I mean, in lane, he's just like, bottom, mediocre, or maybe average at best as a mid laner in NA. But you got to look at the facts. Like, they were 0-4 with Amazing and Someday and Saligo. Yeah, Saligo. So, like, I mean, you would say Someday is way better than Fake God in terms of raw mechanics. So the only thing you can attribute this, like, 3-1 record after
the players.
Ryu subbed in 3-1. I mean, Fake God's obviously not doing the carrying. He might be doing the shot calling, but he's still a rookie at the end of the day. Ryu has, despite all the memes, Ryu has always been pretty damn consistently like a 4th place, 3rd place like team. He's on HK. He did super well. 100 Thieves when he came in, they were 2nd place at the end of the season. Like, they bombed out at Worlds, and like, he looked like a fool in mid lane. But like, as far as NA goes, he is like. He's that I guess he's just like a Poe Belter in that sense, but with the shot calling, like, he comes in. I'm sure Amazing is a good shot caller too. Like, whenever Amazing joins the team, they do better. But like, the fact of the matter is, there was 0-4 with a Someday top lane, and you got Amazing there. And like, Saligo wasn't inting. He wasn't amazing, but he wasn't inting. So if Ryu's not inting either, but he's winning so much against teams like C9, for example, I have to give a lot of credit to him. Like, I don't know what he does. I don't know how much shot calling he can do. I don't even know how good his English is, because I only hear a few interviews from him from time to time. It seems fair and good enough, but it has to be some kind of confidence.
But do you think it's probably because they've they just shifted this roster up. So do you think it's because teams haven't had much of a chance to adapt to them or really know them? I mean, people were beating on 100 Thieves so bad, it's kind of like the tendencies. And as a laner, as a player, when you're playing somebody new against somebody new or haven't played in a while, I mean, there's going to be different tendencies, right? So perhaps people getting used to stuff like that. But do you think it's much more of that as teams just getting used to playing with this new roster of 100 Thieves, or do you think it's something else? Because to be honest, Bang is popping off. They played Zyra Khan. Bang went 7-0-7. Against C9, which is pretty good.
So insane. That Captain Jack, he was oof.
Oh yeah, it was amazing.
I don't even like Bang that much, and it was amazing.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, okay, so another thing I want to say is the champs, because both games you had Ryu on Victor, and then you had Zyra Khan bot lane. The first game when they played FlyQuest, They had Zyra Khan bot, Bang went 2-0-6, Rakan went 0-1-9, and Ryu went 5-0-1. So they were popping off. So again, are you guys? What I'm asking is, are you guys convinced, or do you think this is just teams need to get adjusted because new players and because the champs? Like maybe they banned some of these champs out, and now can they actually perform well on that?
I think that. Well, first of all, Bang's been activated. I don't know what happened. There's some memes going around that Amazing just told Bang that when they're misplaying, it's not that it's a bait. They're actually just that bad, and now he's just playing well. So that's the meme. I think that Bang is turned on, and Ryu is like playing super like well with the team. I think that they are like legit. Like I don't think they're gonna keep winning like every game. They're not gonna go on like a huge streak. But I think they're gonna probably end up in like. I think they probably are more likely to end up 6th, even though they're behind CLG right now.
Top four.
What?
I mean,
top
Did
4.
you say top?
I'm putting it there. Top 4.
All right, put that down. I think they could be top 4 caliber, but the issue is they're too far down to start with. Like, even if you threw Team Liquid as an 0-4-0 team at the beginning of the season, or 0-5-0 team, it's very hard to come to 4th place.
Well, even that.
I'm not putting them 6th, but I'm putting them 4th or.
Okay. But yeah, I mean, also real quick, I don't think that teams don't know how Ryu plays per se. Like, I don't think
Ryu,
anything unique. Sure. Yeah, they didn't bring anything unique to the lane phase. I think Fake Out was okay too. I think it's more about the decisiveness of 100 Thieves after the laning phase. Like the laning phase didn't change much. 100 Thieves just looks like they looked like before. Yeah. But like you see all these plays where Afro's on Rakan or whatever, he's just like running across the map like. God help me, I'm going to make a play, and then he does it, and you're like, oh, that's what I like to see. And I think that has to be something to do with Ryu Amazing, maybe even Bang. Like Ryu might just like be yelling some Korean stuff at Bang, like, "You're a world champion.
You're a world champion. Do this.
You're 2-time world champion. You better carry my ass." And he's like, "Okay."
Yeah,
so that's true. I think the 100 Thieves looks legit. I mean, obviously they could just crash and burn because that's what 100 Thieves are wont to do. But based on how they've been looking, like they're a lot more exciting for me.
So are you're thinking 6? You don't think they'll be in top 5 though, do you, Kevin?
I think it's possible. I think they could eclipse Golden Gardens potentially, because Golden Gardens just like looks like they're literally just like living off Froggen's lifeblood. And like the thing about a hot player is it's super sick in a tournament if you see someone like on fire, but you can't be on fire for the whole regular season. Unless you're Bjergsen from season 4, was it when he joined season 3-ish?
Yeah.
4.
Whenever he came in, he was like literally dragging the corpses of his teammates across.
He's still doing that. He's still doing that. Come on now.
The man's special. I mean,
dude,
his optics.
But still, Bjergsen on who was it? Was it his Azir?
Well, if you're talking about the Golden Guardian game, his Azir was incredible.
Yeah, 12-2-8. We'll talk about TSM now, but that's nuts.
With my friends. Oof. Yeah, we'll talk about it later. But yeah, I think that 100 Thieves is looking hot. I like how they're so proactive.
Yeah,
they could eclipse Golden Guardians just because their Golden Guardians is skill cap definitely, and Ole are just not getting better. Especially definitely Ole can be okay, but he sometimes ints so hard that it hurts me inside.
Yeah.
So like when you have a bot lane inting as an inconsistent jungler, it's hard. It's so hard to make good decisions because you always feel like, maybe I need to go bot.
Yeah, I think I can agree with you on the them taking over the Golden Guardian. I see the potential there. I think Optic is pretty secured up in that top 5. After I've seen more gameplay, honestly, I think they're okay. I don't think CLG will stay up there, honestly. So I could see that. I guess it's not as crazy as it sounds. I guess the reason I have a hard time is because how long have we been saying this, right? Like, oh, they're gonna pick it up, right? Because first of all, when they had a good roster, you're like, on paper, you're like, oh no, they're gonna be good, and they just proven us wrong time and time again. So
For sure.
I'm not quite that hopeful yet, but I can see your point. I can see your point and how they possibly get there. But let's go ahead and move on to TSM, since we were talking about the man himself, Bjergsen. They went 1-1. Again, the Optic game, they lost that, but they played Golden Guardians again. So two teams that were kind of, at least at the moment, kind of in the middle of this pack kind of thing, or that's what we think. But let's talk about that Bjergsen Akali game, because not Akali, Azir game, because that was. Yeah, I was like, Akali, no. But even, if you're talking about last season, his Akali game, when he finally brought out the carry, he was beasting on that too. But, his Azir game was incredible. Like I said, 12-2 and, I can't remember. Yeah, 12-2 and 8. Unbelievable. I mean, he was just killing it that game. And I watched it, and I felt like they played that game pretty well as far as just tempo and controlling the game. And it seems like they actually played their comp correctly. What were you guys' thoughts on the TSM Golden Guardians game?
I thought that Golden Guardian or TSM actually played some of the mid game kind of poorly. I thought that they're not late game, mid game. So 20-ish minutes. So there's this one play where they're going to Dragon, they don't have the vision, and Froggen just gets a blind, not blind, but a free 2-man stun with his Q, and it just proceeds to eviscerate TSM. And I'm thinking to myself, how are you guys grouping up your carries like that and getting into them like that? But I think that other than that, I thought that they just played around Bjergsen so well. Holy moly. Because in the early game, Hans was getting as CS lead as Aatrox versus Jace, Broken Blades Jace. Riddle me this. How's that even possible?
Riddle me this, yeah.
You remember last year at Worlds when Jace was better or not Jace was better. Aatrox was also easier to play in lane and stuff.
Yeah.
You were watching the rookie and the Shy just absolutely eviscerate Aatrox as Jace. There's no reason Broken Blade should be losing that matchup. I have no clue what that was about. And then Zen was playing and then Zen was playing okay. He was decent this game, but Bjergsen was making all the huge plays. He was just going in over and over, giving a 0-6, getting huge DPS that one. I think GGS threw this game. I think that GGS should have won this game, even though Bjergsen was playing like a god. If Froggen just burns his splash at the mid-inhib dive, where they just got triple kill because they were all trying to rescue the glorious leader, I really think that was in Golden Guardian's hands. They had Baron buff, and they had a free mid-inhib turret and probably inhib, and just Froggen was just I can outplay this, and he just didn't use his flash, and then everyone got baited by his egg. So
I gotta admit, man, they need to honestly. Froggen on Anivia is scary, man. That guy he's so good with it. I mean, he is doing so much damage. It's ridiculous. I do think but it's hard because does that warrant a ban sometimes, with so many other picks out there? To me, I think it does, because he's so good at that champ that it doesn't matter if he plays a meta champ, because it's still probably not going to be as impactful as him being on Anivia, because Anivia does bring, no matter what, it still brings CC. That egg itself is annoying because, he's just, it's like a free, it's like a free GA, when
the Scar pulls him in, it's wait, what do I do with this egg?
Exactly. So he kind of has found a place in there. And I like that he can add that to his champ pool, kind of throws some teams off. Because
I also really like the combo they did here. So they did Trundle and Anivia. And the idea here was that the Nautilus would also be able to just get free hooks, because no matter what, they would be up against the wall. The issue with Ole hooks, I'm sorry, this is misses his hooks on key targets. Even if I'm here's the wall, then get up against the wall, and then let me hook the Skarner instead of the Caitlyn or whatever.
Yeah.
Or then blocks. And I'm just watching this, and I'm just this is so free. They're literally, you have 2 projectiles. You can put 2 obstacles up at any time, but for some reason you can't hook them. I'm bad for Froggen. I thought that played very subpar. Nautilus is not hard.
Yeah.
But anyone says Nautilus is super easy. There's no reason at pro level you can't just hook the right target, ult the target. Those are not difficult skill shots and quick targeting.
Hey, Kevin, I'm going to ask you to go ahead and try to check your connection to Discord. I think you were cutting it. I don't know if it was cutting out for you too, Style, but it was like kind of blurbing.
Yeah.
Check your connection to the server or make sure it's legit.
Oh, it's bad.
Okay.
It's really bad.
It's really bad.
Should
Okay.
I just restart? Like, should I rejoin the call?
Yeah, that'll work. Okay, and while that's happening, there you go. There's Style. So Style, you got any thoughts on this game, the TSM Golden Guardians? How you feeling about TSM, man? Come on, you're a fellow TSM fan with me.
I think TSM need to kick their jungler, maybe kick their ADC. I mean, he can stay for now, but
man, you were on this Van Hype train last season, man. Or no, this.
But the thing is, he makes these plays where if he pulls them off, he looks like a god. But if he doesn't pull them off, he just looks like an idiot. And every time he makes those plays, he's ended up looking like an idiot. And if that teaches me anything, is don't go for those plays or don't play.
But aren't you happy that he's playing Caitlyn? Come on.
Yeah, I was happy that I was playing Caitlyn, but like, I would be happy if anyone was playing Caitlyn.
Okay.
And not only are people playing Caitlyn, they're playing Essence Reaver Caitlyn.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you know, they nerfed Essence Reaver, right? Well, they didn't nerf it, but they increased the cost.
I haven't read the patch, but I saw they changed the build. They built the build path.
It's BF sword now instead of pickaxe.
Did they cut down on the AD? Was it always 70? Or it was 75, right?
So the AD is still the same. The stats are still the same from what I know. I think it's just the cost is increased by 100 and the components are different. But yeah, so it's been changed, but the stats it gives actually are the same. So I don't know if that's actually going to nerf it, but it does slow it down a little bit. So we'll have to see. But TSM looks decent, I think. You know, I don't know. I'm not fully convinced yet. I still think they're top 3 team. I don't think they're better than Team Liquid. I honestly, even though they beat C9, I'm still kind of questionable on that too. So I don't know. It's still up in the air for me at least. What do you guys feel about TSM or C9? Are you guys thinking anybody can dethrone them out of top 3?
Yeah, I think they both have bad junglers, and I think they both have what is it? I wouldn't say bad bot lane, but like mediocre. I don't think Sneaky is as good as he used to be. I think what is it? I think their team basically lives off either their mid laner or their top laner. So I think Licorice is one of the best top laners. I think Broken Blade is pretty good, but not as good as Licorice. I think Niski is also very good. I think Bjergsen is way better though.
Yes.
Yeah. I agree.
But overall, as a team, I think C9 is better than TSM right now. But I still think 100 Thieves and Golden Guardians could easily beat either one of them. I wouldn't say easily beat, but they can beat them.
100 Thieves?
Also throw Optic into that ring. I think Optic can easily.
What do you mean? 100 Thieves did beat C9. Literally beat C9.
This is
true. These are facts right now. This is what's crazy is that these are facts.
The world.
I'm telling you, it's not. If 100 Thieves didn't lose 5 games in a row in the beginning, and they were just this team from the beginning, I'll put them in the top 3.
I would say the record would be 5-3 right now if they played this team from the beginning. They would still lose a few, but they would not be like.
That's crazy.
5 in a row.
Yeah, that's pretty insane.
I think Bjergsen destroys Ryu, but their bot lane gets completely dumpstered. Like Zen and Smoothie get completely destroyed by Bang and Afromu. Bang and Afromu, I think, is the second best. I wouldn't say best. I think Double Lift Core JJ is the best. But you know, if you put what is it, 2-time world champions in one lane, you know, you have like 2-time world champion in ADC, you have 2-time world champion in support, and you obviously have the 2 best bot lanes.
Basically, if you just divide that world championship, you have 2 world champions on both bot lanes.
Yeah, you basically have like 4 world champions, right?
Don't worry about it.
And what
I don't know if I would put him at second though. Really, Ping and Afro. I mean,
who else would you? Who else would you say is better? So we both. I mean, we can agree that TL has the best bot lane.
Yes, I agree.
Sure.
Okay. Then who would you put in second if it's not Bang and Afro?
I guess it can't be Sneaky and Zazel anymore. I honestly haven't seen them do much of anything in a while.
The only thing I've seen Sneaky and Zazo do is to play Ezreal and get carried.
Okay, it's hard because we literally saw Bang and Afro be bad for so long.
Yeah. I think I'm doing this based on what I saw last week, not anything more.
Fair enough. If it's a power ranking, I might have to agree with you because Stixxay and Bio look okay at times, but maybe not.
I would put Stixxay. I would put them in the top. I still think Deathly is like one of the best ADCs. I'm just not sure about.
You think
very interesting.
I
think he has potential. I think he has a lot of potential.
You do realize Deathly has been around for almost 6 years in the amateur to pro scene, right?
Yeah.
But
I didn't know how long I didn't know how long, but I knew it was a few.
For a very long time.
Really, I thought he was like, I wouldn't say top 3, but definitely like 4th or 5th.
Maybe. Okay, I think he's 4th and 5th, maybe, but I would not say he's like second in mine.
No, definitely not second. I think top 4, I wouldn't say top 3 because Sneaky, Doublelift, and Thing are my top 3, and Bang.
Okay.
And then Sven and Deathly would be my next 2, but
I would put Arrow over Deathly as of right now.
Arrow's been playing really
well. I mean, after seeing Arrow play last week, I wouldn't put Arrow even in my top 6.
Yeah.
If he's a power ranking.
Giving him in this power rankings, you can still put a little weight in the 5 games they won in a row or 4 games or whatever, because he's still been pretty good. Like, last week he was pretty awful, but
he was actually terrible. Even
maybe if you're counting immediacy, you could maybe give it to
actually. I think Sven played well.
We're just talking about 5th and 4th place AD carries at this point, so it's not super relevant to bang on for too long. Definitely played fine. It's a shame he has to play with Ole right now.
Yeah.
I think Apollo is pretty good, to be honest. I think he plays like a really mean Ashen Jinx, and he played an insane Xayah.
I think it's insane that they benched Apollo for so long.
Yeah, that's pretty confusing. Yeah, exactly, because they were like the duo. You know,
like if you're gonna bring Lawson, you should bring his academy support with him, or whoever who's played with him. Like, what's the point of getting rid of Apollo, but not also Hakuho? I mean, I think Hakuho is really good, but it just didn't make sense. I thought Lawson was fine. It's just their synergy was not there.
Yeah. Okay.
I didn't know why Lordo wasn't here from the beginning. I think Lordo's insane. Like when he played for TL, he was good.
Who was he replacing for the games he played in?
Solo.
I don't know.
Solo's been playing super well though. I think Lordo played fine, but like I think Solo's been playing like one of the best players on his team for a while now.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I think he's pretty good on like certain champs. Like his gangplank against TL was insane. I think it's just like sometimes he doesn't know what he's doing.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't know when to engage and things like that. He doesn't know things like TPs and all those kind of things. But when it comes to mechanics, I think he's like perfectly, I would say, average. I would say he is like, I wouldn't say he's like the best. I wouldn't say he's like the worst. But I would put like
somewhere in the middle.
He's okay. Not too bad. Not good.
All right, let's move on to so a couple more teams I want to talk about. Like, I don't really want to talk about EchoFox because it's whatever, but I do want to talk about Clutch Gaming and then FlyQuest because FlyQuest is dead last. They've only won 1 game. It's kind of a sad story. But let's talk about Clutch Gaming real quick because for me, I just haven't really like been excited about them. But to be honest, like I'm looking at their record, right? It's not the greatest, but the teams they've lost to have been like the top teams. So they've lost to C9, TSM, Liquid, and then Optic, right? But the other games they've won, so technically games that are anyone that's not in the top 3, right? They've been playing well. Are you guys, I mean, is this a dark horse right here where people maybe just sleeping on Clutch? Or you guys, what do you guys think? Because again, we've kind of talked about Golden Guardians and Optic is kind of this middle of pack team. And, you talked about 100 Thieves maybe creeping on there. But what about Clutch? You guys thinking anything here? Or are you not convinced? By the I'm thinking that you guys aren't convinced.
I think Clutch Gaming is like a dark horse in the sense that they could just like randomly take a game off a top team very easily because Cody Sun's finally activated. I think he's like warmed up back onto the stage. He's been playing pretty well with Vulcan. They're both fine as a bot lane. I actually think Cody Sun's quite a good
dude.
AD carry.
His KDA is 4.1 with a 72% kill participation. He does 29.9.
That's after getting clapped to TL, right? He died so many times in that game.
Yeah, but a lot of people get clapped by TL.
Yeah.
No. I'm saying his KDA must have tanked from that game. So that's still a really good KDA.
Yeah, he still has a good KDA. That's
exactly. That's what I'm saying. He's playing really well, and you know, I mean, that's pretty insane.
Yeah, I mean, Clutch has Huni Lira. Like, if they are playing well, like on the random off days they do play really well on it, it's like they are pretty scary. This Huni Lira sounds pretty scary. Cody Sun and Vulcan are fine about it, and I think Demonte had a good game against Echo Fox, no, not Echo Fox, FlyQuest. Yeah, he looked pretty good there on his Akali, but they're just not exciting at the end of the day because I think Huni's past his prime. He can like pull it out every once in a while. He's kind of like old. I don't know. I don't think Dyrus is about
Reggie.
Reggie.
if anyone knows that reference, old Reggie. Like some games you're like, holy shit, Reggie, and then
like
sometimes you're like.
Even Hotshot GG, if anyone knows Hotshot GG.
Yeah.
No one cares about Hotshot. Come on.
Come on, old school.
He used to be really good, and then you watch him sub in one time, and he gets clapped by Bjergsen.
Oh,
playing what is it, Ziggs into Gragas.
Oh my god.
Well, here's the thing. So Clutch, what I'm more interested in to see is how they fare against these middle pack teams. Like I said, right? Like Golden Guardians, Optic, and. Yeah, because like so when we come back to LCS after Rift Rivals, their first game back they're playing CLG. I think that's going to be a great game to watch because if they beat CLG, then you know that's one of those middle pack teams. And then unfortunately they got to play C9 the next day, which they will most likely lose that game. But again, I think if they can beat these middle pack teams, then they're a middle pack team, the best of the middle pack teams. So I think it's maybe too early for me to tell or get excited about it, but I'll have to see how they do against like the Optic or the Golden Guardians or CLG and see if they can perform well in that, because obviously the low teams they've been beating, the high teams they've been losing. So I think the difference maker is going to be in these middle of the road teams. So Kevin's not convinced. Style thinks they're good. You got anything else to add, Style, as far as like why you think
like
they're good?
Huni, because Huni was part of the OG Fnatic, right? The Fnatic that won 18 games in a row.
Yeah,
so I think,
but he's not that Huni anymore, though.
Yeah.
I don't think he is that Huni anymore, but I think he can get close to it. He will never beat that Huni ever again. Like,
you think he can still get close to it?
I think
Rainover was on that Fnatic too, and Rainover is like a coach for C9 right now or something.
Yeah. Even though I don't think he will be as good or like anywhere near as good as he used to be, I think he can still be a really good top laner. I would put him in like as better than most of a lot of the top laners that I've been seeing as it is. Like, I wouldn't put him in top 4, but I would put him in either 5th or 6th. But that's just Huni. I don't like Demonte. I don't think he's a good player. I think the one time I enjoyed watching Demonte is when he played Lux, and that's because it's Lux. And he actually did decently.
Yeah.
Like, I think he played pretty well that game. But apart from that, all the rest of I didn't like his Twisted Fate. Was it him who played Twisted Fate?
I believe he picked the TF at least once.
I'm pretty sure he played one game. He played one game of Klepto TF, and I really didn't like it, especially when he TP'd to bot lane, and he just ran it down. Like, it was just hardened.
Yeah.
Like, who TPs into a fight right in front of the enemy team as Twisted Fate?
He also had, I'm pretty sure he was the one who also TF ulted top and just inted because he like was too far away to throw a card, and then the jungler just killed him or something. It was one of the TF plays that I just remember being absolutely... No, it might not have been him, but he has played TF once. It was against Echo Fox, and it was last week.
Yeah. Okay, well, so here's the thing then. I mean, if Clutch is, I don't know, going to be middle of the pack, and we got Echo Fox, which I don't really think is going to do anything, do you guys think FlyQuest stays at the bottom, or do you think they can you pull something here? Because honestly, they're looking like the new 100 Thieves these past few weeks.
No.
I mean, I think it's been like people are like, okay, wait a minute, FlyQuest is supposed to be pretty good because they were, but
Yeah, they were
lately they've just been. I don't know. I feel like they've just gotten like this, the summer blues. Like they had that little break, and then now they're like, oh, they're just not playing well. Pobelter's not playing well. Santorin is not playing well. Turtle's
they
not
beat
playing.
TSM. There's that.
That's true, but I think any team right now could beat TSM. But I mean, Viper though, like Viper still looks good, right? To me, I feel like he's a really good player, but it just seems like the rest of their team isn't performing. And they even had who is it, Wadid in?
Wadid came in for our game.
The thing is, you can't expect someone to come in as a support player and then just be very
Core
good
JJ. Core JJ. I know every time I hear this Core JJ, he came in and was immediate.
Like a double world. The thing is, Wadid didn't. He came in like in summer split, right? So you don't get that much time. Even before Core JJ came in, he got like the whole summer to play. Not the whole summer, but like right after World, he got the whole time. It's like a good like 3. Was it 3 months? It's like a good 3 months at least to play with your support. And from MSI to what's it called? From MSI to now to summer split, I don't think was it like a month? Was it even a month?
It's about
MSI was at the start of May, so let's say a bit less than a month.
They weren't going to MSI, so they had a lot more time.
Yeah.
It was at least a month.
let's just assume like a bit over a month, and you still can't expect someone. You can't compare someone like Wadid to someone like Core JJ. Wadid, I mean,
semi-finalist at Worlds.
The thing about Wadid is I thought he was really good on G2, but now it's just like I'm not so sure. It's like that was his prime, and now it's like, I mean, if he's
retiring in the NA.
Yeah, but if you can win with Hjarnan, I think you can win with anything. Especially how Hjarnan's doing in LEC right now.
Hjarnan's got benched, yo.
Oh gosh. So one thing I wanted to point out real quick is because I made this prediction, bolts. This was my bold statement from last time. You guys still there? Did my call drop? Check 1 2. Check 1 2. All right, looks like my call may have dropped, so I'll just keep talking. But one thing that I wanted to point out is that one of my bold predictions for this coming week that we just had on week 4 was that I said that there would be no Rise, and sure enough, Rise had 0% presence. He was neither picked nor banned at all in week 4, and Silas also. He got, I think he got played once, twice, but he had like a 20% presence in this week. So it seems like the Rise nerfs have made a huge impact on what we're seeing in pro play for week 4. And on the flip side, man, Karma saw 100%, 10 bans, no play at all, just because of the slight buff that she had. But she's such a great team fighter. But yeah, definitely seeing her getting her presence skyrocketing because of those buffs, which are going to be taken out. So that's 9.12. So at any rate, it's interesting to see just how one patch can make an impact on who the pros pick and ban for the game. So remember that next week is not LCS. We have Rift Rivals this coming up week, so we'll be returning again after that. But we may do somewhere in between there a rankings, maybe a top 3 on each position in NA so far in the NA LCS, just to see where we're at. We're not quite at the midpoint. Week 5 will be the midpoint, so after that it'll be the midway point there. So then we can do some kind of ranking and see where teams land and make our final predictions for the end. So that's pretty much going to wrap it up for the show. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, then please leave us feedback. You can find us on all the major podcast directories. You can also email us at theallinpodcastlol@gmail.com or tweet us at theallinpodcast. But until next time, guys, enjoy your climb on the Rift. Try not to be too toxic, and I will see you guys on the next episode. Peace.